okay? Fine! We'll do it live! Fine! And welcome everybody to the Daily Space Weather. I'm your host Dan, aka smAsho Mash, shockingly calm on this Labor Day weekend. We're looking at the sun right now in 304 angstroms. To see 0 sunspots. A large plage region, an area of magnetic organization moving into a setting phase. Some filamentary activity around this area. No coronal mass ejections, but a small strike has just hit the magnetosphere. Here's some more data. Here's a quick look at the fields. And we did see a sunspot yesterday, not long enough for it to be named. It was this region right here. And let's take a look at some more views here. Here's a colorized magnetogram. And by the way, this is under data, under browse data. You can put in specific dates and so on. It's an alternative to helioviewer.org. They're all slightly different. You know, one of the benefits here is that you can easily rock the images back and forth as well as download the series of images. So that's always nice if you want to make custom animations and stuff. Here's the 193 angstroms view. Some diffuse coronal holes around the area just south of the equator right there. And again, there's some filamentary activity right here. We'll show you by the end of the video. I know it shows up in 131 angstroms. Here's just the west side. And here's just the east side. And again, we don't really see any coronal mass ejections going on right now, but one did produce a weak glancing strike on the magnetosphere just about an hour ago. It sort of subsided. The radio flux is still at 70 solar flux units. And let me just bring up the chat here. Thanks everybody for tuning in to the live stream. There's the chat. Let me make that a little bigger so everybody can read what's being said and get back to the data. Again, radio flux at 70, and you can see how well that correlates with sunspot number. This was discovered in 1947 by some Canadians, and the benefit back then was the fact that you can get a good proxy for solar output on cloudy days, because back then there was no space-based equipment. The KP index, the measurement of average global geomagnetism, is at 2. We don't see any significant solar flares, and there's a 3-day X-ray flux graph. Proton flux similarly flatlined, and the small little coronal mass ejection strike that we saw there again was small and little. Here you'll be able to see the pulse on the real-time solar wind. And right there, we're actually still in this. You can see the phi angle continues to shift around, and you see this increase in the solar wind density and the speed at the same time. That's the definition of a glancing blow right there, especially with no increase in the proton flux or anything like that. So anyway, the current solar wind density around 6 protons per cubic centimeter. Solar wind speed 400 kilometers a second, and you can see it's been varying about 20 kilometers a second here, up to 40 kilometers a second there. So that's sort of an ongoing thing right now. A weak glancing blow. So here are the effects on the magnetosphere, according to the space weather modeling framework at least. 4 hours of that data provided by University of Michigan. And just bear with me one moment, folks. We are streaming live to YouTube. I just want to, after that plays, make sure that the stream is good. The chat is ready. Thanks, Be Stoic, for leaving comments. Thanks for hanging out, smAsho Mash. I mean smAsho staff. Yeah, Smash staff. And also Keebs. Please, everybody, don't forget to subscribe to Keebs Tunes. Smash staff, if you'd like to leave a link to that in the chat, feel free. Here are the ground magnetic perturbations, and we see some, and we have actually just performed a heliospheric current sheet polarity change. We're now back in the North Pole current sheet. The North Solar Polar Field oriented current sheet would be the best way to describe it. We'll get to more magnetic data in a minute, but there's 4 hours of ground perturbations during this geomagnetic excursion. We still see over 170,000 power outages, customers out of power in Louisiana. Texas and California, not as bad as they've looked. Keep in mind, folks, this doesn't show you all the outages. It just gives you a percentage because they're unable to track all the custies. So there's in this case, there's 2 million custies tracked. I'm sure there are more than 2 million custies in Louisiana. This, I believe, right here is the current sheet polarity crossing. And that's just occurred in the past few hours. So expect smoother ghost magnetometer data. And for your new viewers, this is N, meaning noon, and M, meaning midnight for the ghost 16. What that ultimately means is that it's local time for the satellite. So you got to keep that in mind when looking at this. And here's the coronal magnetic field data. And keep in mind it's showing closed potential field force lines in pink, coronal hole field force lines in purple, and open field force lines in black. Don't get fixated on it. Here's a top view ecliptic plane field plot. Keep in mind the data is 1 hour and 35 minutes old. And we are already out of this South Pole current sheet here. We're already back in the North Pole current sheet. I'm quite sure of that. Oh yeah. And here is the the line of sight field plot. And just to go back to this for a minute, by the way, this data is from Stereo A, Stereo B, and ground-based magnetometers, the National Sunspot Observatory. It gives you a good visualization of where Stereo A and B are located. So when we're looking at the Stereo A coronagraph, keep in mind there's an angle to this. You're looking at it from this angle.
There's nothing on the screen for your background.
Oh my gosh, it took you that. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know, Smash staff. You're fired. Wonderful. That's perfect. Let's just go all the way back to where I was. I don't even know. Any idea what the last slide was? Did I show the solar wind? You know what? It's just so hard to find good help these days. All right. So I don't even know which slide I actually showed now, as I don't remember bringing on the screen. I should have probably. Can anybody tell? All right, fantastic. There's a real-time solar wind. Here's the magnetosphere. I think we were after this. Power outages. I don't freaking remember. Here's the current sheet polarity crossing on the magnetometer. And please don't have a seizure while viewing the field force lines. I seriously, I have no idea what the problem with the technical difficulty is. I think it may be because I'm an idiot. So I was messing around pretending to be Bill O'Reilly at the beginning, but apparently, don't worry, I'm not Bill O'Reilly. He's taller and more Catholic. Anyway, here's the current sheet boundary crossing. You can see the North Pole current sheet here shown here in green, and you're already in it. Here's a line of sight field plot. And to go back to what I was saying there, this is stereo A, this is stereo B, and this data is derived from 51 ground-based magnetometers at the National Sunspot Observatory, which is a series of magnetometers on Earth in places like Mauna Kea, and magnetometers on stereo A and B. That's how the data is derived. It's one of the most important features of solar forecasting, the Gong 2 data. It also shows you the B field if you look at the line of sight field plot in blue. All right, so welcome to another episode of the Smash Lights, where I talk about whatever I want, and sometimes I even I thought I vanished. I guess I didn't vanish. All right. Well, that's what happens when you open up dimensional portals sometimes, folks. They just reduce the amount of fire behind you at the same time as not teleport. It seems that I've transported the fire to a different plane of existence, which means now this could cause some problems. I don't know which website you mean, but in any case, let's get to the Smash Light segment, as there are sharticles. Do you remember when centralization was in its
heyday?
Well, congratulations, you're probably pretty old because it was in like 1980s. Centralization is dead, folks. So welcome to the Neo-Renaissance, where people have things like, personal responsibility and credibility, stuff like that. So, good times. Centralization is no longer in its
heyday.
That occurred in the 1980s, probably a decade before the Soviet Union collapsed. Let's talk about some sharticles. And we've got some legit sharticles here. So, first of all, Vox has printed a great sharticle. A complete lie. You have to wonder how it's possible that they could put a headline, Democrats are running the most progressive police reform agenda in modern American history. Does anybody believe this? It seems like they're running on covidiocy and blatant corruption, as they've covidiot, blatantly corrupt. Carbon copy. These candidates are horrendous. Oh man, what a disaster. I mean, seriously, you're going to run Kamala Harris, and then, who wrote this? Roj Karma. Here's the author of this. He's a researcher. Oh my gosh, there he is. I'm sure he's not a complete hack or anything. Roj Karma. Democrats may not want to defund the police, but they are more open than ever to re-imaging public safety. If by public safety you mean having crooked cops who slept their way into the DA's office and then kept people in jail despite exculpatory evidence as police reform, then yeah, Kamala. Great idea. Get Kamala. You're really gonna get the BLM movement on board with Kamala, aren't you? Well done. No malarkey, Joe. Let me just let the article scroll here. Are you kidding me? The most progressive police reform bill in American history? You should be electing Rand Paul president. Anyway, if you'd like to campaign for them, vote for covidiocy and blatant corruption. via our Teespring shirt. Check it out. Perhaps get it in Republican red. Did you know why Republicans are red? Because in the 1980s, CBS arbitrarily switched the colors because reasons. Every place else in the world, you've got left-wing red, right-wing blue, or alleged right-wing. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. But perhaps consider a covidiocy and blatant corruption shirt. Now, we usually stream live to Twitch because the platform is so good. It's fantastic. But today we're streaming live to YouTube. So if you've got a comment, just leave us a comment, and we'll be sure to get back to you. Cheers to Keebs, Be Stoic, Nabo J, and Smash Staff. And what the hell was I talking about? Anyway, we're on Twitch, and we're all over social media. One of the choices is Minds.com. Shout out to Rich Wood and Nick DiPaolo, indeed. Check us out at minds.com/smashomash. There's all kinds of exclusive content there. A lot of the original memes that we've made are there, and it's one of the places we started making stuff very early. Minds.com/smashomash. The future of social media, perhaps, and you won't see any sort of censorship or anything like that on Minds, MINDS.com. We're also on Twitter. If you don't follow Kit Boga, please do. Here's part of one of his videos, which we actually put something up about this. Just check it out. I'm going to play a small enough portion of the audio here that it'll be legit fair use. Less than 8 seconds, folks. Allow me to... that's it. This is just enjoy this.
You not to use that language around me, okay?
Do not redeem! Do not redeem! Do not redeem the card!
What?
Do not redeem! Do not redeem! Do not redeem the card! I mean, this guy, this is still going on because this is like, oh, it's a pinned tweet. This is the most angry scammer that I've ever seen. This guy yelled like this for a solid half hour. If you don't follow him on YouTube, I'm sure it's youtube.com/kitboga. We're on Twitter as well, and I've been actually putting out tweets, such as this one. So please, by all means, make sure you vote for covidiocy and blatant corruption. In 2020, vote Biden-Harris. And if you'd like some campaign merch, there's a link to that on the Twitter page. There you go. It's the Teespring store. Covidiocy and blatant corruption. Were you aware that this is a thing? Well, it turns out that it is. And let me give a personal story. Back in the year 2011, I did a search for a website. I typed in the entire URL, and to test the junkware Google search engine, I decided to type the whole URL into Google instead of typing it into the address bar of my browser. And what that did is it accomplished two important things. One, it showed me that I had to go 12 pages deep to find a URL, which is the entire website address. I literally typed in http://website.com, which was their real website, but I put it into the junkware search engine because I had suspicions about why I wasn't finding search results associated with this particular company, who I will not mention in this video. I had to go 12 pages deep in the search results to find them. So, I mean, I don't know if this is referring to how Sundar can help, but I can explain how Sundar can help real quickly. Sundar can help for the reasons of self-preservation, sell all of his alphabet stock, move all of those assets to Seychelles so they can't be confiscated by law enforcement organizations, and then move to a country that has no extradition treaties. Because here's what's going on with Alphabet. I'll explain it yet again. People think Sundar Pichai is in charge of Alphabet. Little known fact, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, at least last I checked, still own the controlling share of the stock. So, we've got an entire forum topic about this little issue right now. Who owns nearly 90% of the search of the search space on the internet via Google and YouTube search engines. Now, were you aware that 90% of political donations go to Democrats from big tech organizations? Were you aware? Now, it's a well-known fact that Google wished to prevent another, quote, Trump situation immediately following the election 4 years ago. And while this wasn't why we created content in the first place, we created content about a year before the election because we saw the pathetic support for people like Bernie Sanders as well as Hillary Clinton. And I was like, oh, this is a great opportunity to explain how things really work. So in any case, you may want to read about how Google's a scam, not a verb. And if you'd please stop using it as a verb, I would be much obliged. Because the only verb that Google legitimately means is to obtain a biased search result by using the Google Junkware search engine. If you want to read more about this topic, head to smashamash.com/forum. Head to the Free-for-All forum and click on the Google is a scam, not a verb, now 4-page long content thread about what I've just stated. Speaking of Google, if you enjoy the content, please don't forget to press rake and subscribe on YouTube. TourYube, press tyke and rubscry on YourTube. By the way, we just created a exclusive video like 2 days ago. One of the Smashlight segments is no longer featured on YouTube. And why? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because YouTube demonetized it. Why? Well, I don't know. But here it is. It's got the word HIPAA on the thumbnail. Maybe that has something to do with it. No, I'm sure Google's perfectly fine with it. All right, so let's go over chats. And so who's talking? All right, and I apologize for those technical difficulties, folks. All right, we'll do it live, okay? We'll do it live. There's a huge homeless encampment right outside the Google headquarters in Santa Monica. Okay, they're not located in Santa Monica. Google's address. It's not Santa Monica. That's not where the Google Mall is located, is it? I don't think so. What the hell? I type in Google's address. Oh man. I forget. I don't think it's Santa Monica. Geez, you think it would be easy to find the address of one of the largest companies on earth, but apparently it's some kind of secret information. So make sure you follow us at bitshoot.com/smashomash, as there is exclusive content over there, like the video about hydroxychloroquine, which was put up on March 19th, I think it was. Well, if cryptocurrency is the means by which to take down big tech, then you better invest in Ethereum. because that's the one that pays people to write software. Anyway, if there is a Google office or whatever, or server site in Santa Monica, I think it's cute. Maybe they get a lot of handouts outside Google. We're also on other social media. Check out smAsho.org for the entire list. There's a giant, yeah, we got a live stream. There's a giant list. Thanks Smash staff for beefing everything up there, and other links to things like the smAsho stores. If you'd like a souvenir for surviving a global pandemic, and congratulations, because if you're viewing the video, you must not be dead. We'll be modeling a purple shirt soon. In fact, I think there's one around right now. Let's talk about how spooked and scared I am. I'm so spooked and scared that I have these UV wands, which you can purchase at smashamash.com/affiliate via our Amazon advertisements. And I am now so scared and spooked that I don't even want to, I'm just going to be like, okay, it's going to go away. Oh, I'm so scared. I've got to be in a state of denial. Oh, it just went away on its own. Huh. I didn't even feel a symptom or have a test or do but much of anything. And am I getting hurled off of the internet? Nope, it looks like we're still live. Cheers. Let's talk about COVID. Oh my God, it's so scary. One of the things you may do when you're locked down, because an idiotic governor in your state suggested that you should, which has caused everything to be closed. By the way, were you aware that 54% of unemployment caused by COVID in the U.S. has already been replaced by new or rehiring of existing jobs? It's true, folks. It's true. One of the things you may want to do is read smashamash.com/forum. There's a lot of information there. And one of the bits of information is movie recommendations. You want to see a fairly horrifying movie, check out Dirty O'Neill, subtitle The Love Life of a Cop. It's not safe for work. It's not safe for kids. It's not safe for good taste. This 1974 sexploitation action crime drama, Dirty O'Neill, it's actually pretty competent if you can get past the nearly constant sex stuff. One warning, if you watch this, there's a protracted rape scene that's incoherent and goes on seemingly forever. You've been warned. You may be haunted by portions of this movie, but it's weirdly likable, yet also oddly inappropriate and disturbing. More recommendations coming soon. As we watched like 6 movies last weekend, and we're considering putting out some video content, just reviews of some movies. Were you aware that dogs and cats can get COVID while we're talking about it? Well, here's what I was saying on April 7th, that the virus is far too communicable to be stopped. It can be slowed, hospitals can get overloaded, but the number of cases and number of deaths is likely to be affected not much by any measure. So let's see if a tiger survives, and I think the tiger at the Bronx Zoo did survive. Leave us a comment if you know whether or not the tiger at the Bronx Zoo survived its COVID, because it was tested. By the way, dogs are not as communicable as cats. So, sorry all you cat owners out there. And for all you big game hunters, you may want to be careful if you go shoot a lion. And if you go to the Bronx Zoo, make sure a tiger doesn't cough on you. You could get COVID. What a joke. Were you aware the UN has been forced to admit that the Gates-funded vaccine has been causing a polio outbreak in Africa? That's just wonderful, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, it's some kind of weird oral vaccine. I don't even want to talk anymore about it because I will be depersoned, deplatformed, and sent to wherever Alex Jones lives now. Have you watched Kit Boga? Now, I played a little clip from him before because Kit Boga, he got his start because his grandmother got scammed by multiple different scammers. And there's good news regarding scamming. So check him out on Twitch and on YouTube and on Twitter. He streams 8+ hours a day, usually more than that. And frankly, I don't even know how he does all the stuff that he does. He must have some software or some staff as well, because, I mean, dude, this guy is the top scam baiter ever. There's also some other ones out there. We'll feature them at a later time. I think we featured them in the past too. Related, and by the way, oftentimes these scam baiters are able to integrate law enforcement into their scam baiting and get dudes put in jail, like the 80 charged in a massive conspiracy to steal millions using online scams. Nigerian scammers operating out of both Los Angeles and Nigeria, claiming they had a bag of diamonds in Syria. Nice. Albert Einstein claimed he had a bag of diamonds, and he wanted you to just give him some sort of reportage fee or some other weird made-up thing. Scammers are getting caught. I like it. Kit Boga does too. Let's talk about HuffPo. HuffPo has got lots of fear-mongering going on. Oh my God, another lockdown in China. Oh my God, there's going to be more deaths. Oh my God, the certain organizations claim it's going to be deadlier than other organizations previously claimed, and I'm very scared and spooked. It's a great Labor Day weekend to be scared and spooked, so please lock yourself inside and just, I don't know, just rock back and forth with a UV wand and do a UV dance or something. I don't know. Here's another article from HuffPo, and by the way, this is a part of the reason why we have the Sharticle background. Oh, there you go. There's the Sharticle background. U.S. coronavirus deaths projected to more than double by January. Now, I don't believe this. I think it's total nonsense. Let's just play a clip. Courtesy HuffPo.
Can be traced back to the August 7th event at the Big Moose Inn.
Oh my God, the August 7th event at the Big Moose Inn. It sounds scary. Somebody's projecting that we're going to have 410,000 deaths by January 1st instead of 225,000 deaths. Now, by the way, lots of COVIDiots are going to think that they have COVID when they actually have the flu, a disease much deadlier for young people. All right, do I have to? All right, I'm gonna do it. COVID-19, as of September 5th, 2020, is a statistically relevant disease. Survey said? You son of a... All right, let's get visuals on this. All right, COVID-19 is scary and spooky. Survey said? This is... You smash people. You set me up for this. This is your fault, your channel's fault. If you try to discredit or defame me, I will say you were wrong in a family feud. Fine. We'll do it live, okay? We'll do it live! Kamala Harris is an excellent criminal justice reform vice presidential candidate. Survey said? What the... All right, I'm going to try one more time. Instituting a worldwide vaccine for a virus with a case mortality rate at or below 0.04% is effective. Wearing masks, especially the surgical kind of masks, is effective, survey said. I don't know why you guys subject me to this every day. It makes me look badly. Did you know that the common cold can prevent the flu virus from infecting airways? Why? Because of interferon. Because when you get any virus, you'll produce interferon, which is hostile to all viruses. It's part of your basic immune system response to anything. And it's another great article here on SciTech Daily, where it's like, hey, scared and spooked type dudes. Let's break out the chat here. Yes, thank you everybody for leaving comments. Ah, Al Ham from Wales. All right, cool. Another international viewer. Check it out. All right, let me check the life of the stream, and we are still good. So yeah, it's all because of interferon, folks. And have you noticed some interference in your life because of certain centralized control over things that require zero centralized control? People justifying their own existence with bureaucratic nonsense? We're growing our organization, and we're funded by something efficient, people like you. So check out the forum and the Smash store and the other Smash store and the affiliate, which by the way has some new stuff in there right now. We've put our air fryer in there as thanks to Mothra, my good old mum, who's bought us an air fryer going on 2 years ago, and we've learned how to cook all kinds of things in there. We're going to share recipes eventually. But the latest thing is the Microsoft Wired Keyboard 600 series. Now this is the closest to the keyboard that I actually use. It's got the keys in the right places. So you see the backslash key above the enter key there? That's got to be that. This key right here, that cannot be an L-shaped enter key. That is unacceptable. So there's, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's my keyboard. It's actually a 500 series, but you can't really buy that anymore. So the updated version of it is the Microsoft 600. It's spill resistant. And Microsoft hardware remains pretty good as far as peripherals like mice and keyboards. So there are the controls on that. We've put it on the affiliate links. It's smashomash.com/affiliate. There's all kinds of stuff there. Here's a hyper fast scroll down. If you're interested in any of these objects, head to smashomash.com/affiliate. We'll be telling you how to put data on that USB drive, how to not spill coffee on your keyboard. We've got a small cosmology segment for you here today. Let me just break out the chat once again here and make sure we are good. Yeah, we are good to go. The live stream is live. So, regarding cosmology, there's an article on space.com featuring very high images, high resolution images of the sun. If you want to read that, space.com. Stunning new images show the star's popcorn-like magnetic field structure. Now, living close to a star is healthy for you. It's healthy for me. It's healthy for your garden. Anyway, there's a very, very high resolution image of a sunspot. I'm not sure which one that is, but again, it's on space.com. You'll see it there. It's not really super important. Today's featured object is the crab pulsar, one of the most consistent X-ray sources. Here's a close-up of it in X-ray, and it gives you the most detail there, as there's a lot of stuff going on around the crab. Here's a transient analysis, and if you want to look it up on the Simbad, easiest way to do it is probably to just go to the Neil Gorell Swift Observatory, hit Control F and type in crab. Go to the fifth entry, which is number 180. And there are the transients. And when you click on Sinbad, you will see this or something similar. And there's the Crab Nebula. There's also a wiki on the Crab Nebula and so on. Let's talk about funding. Thanks to our Subscribe Stars. It's for those of you who don't like Patreon for whatever reason, we are also on Subscribe Star. There's also a PayPal link. And if you'd like to donate and increase the probability that these videos will remain free and publicly visible, please do so, or become a patron, which, by the way, Patreon is a true source of funding for the content. We make about 2 cents per hour to make the videos via YouTube ad revenue and so on. So consider becoming a Patreon if you haven't. Patreon.com/smAshomash. And here's a credit crawl for all of our active patrons. This gets updated at the beginning of every month. Thanks again, patrons. And here ends another Smashlight segment. And by the way, this will be on a playlist including Smashlight's Daily Space Weather and no cosmology segments, just Smashlights and Daily Space Weather. Now, regarding what is Layer 42, I have no idea what that means. Let me just put the chats on the screen here. I'm going to actually scroll all the chats that have happened during today's live stream. So here are all the chats. And thanks everybody for leaving comments. We try to display them during the smAsho streams. I don't know what you're talking about with a PO box, Keebs. Let's move on to some more data, as we've got a few more things to cover here. Electron flux is still at very high levels, and we've just gone in and out of warning levels here. So over the past couple hours here, back into warning levels and back out. We're just right on the threshold right now. And up here we were at about 15 times warning levels. Current charging hazards, not too extreme. And by the way, if you see charging hazards in this sort of area, that's around where the SDO actually flies. So you could actually see the SDO go out if you see big charging hazards in those spots. Something to keep an eye on. And when I say high on, well, the pun is intentional, and that's not a sharticle. Next, looking at the total electron content here, we're looking at the whole thermosphere all the way down to lithosphere. You can see the timestamps, I hope. And thanks again to Smash staff for letting me know that I was showing a blank screen, as I can't hear you chatting. And we are forecasting, NOAA is forecasting, the Space Weather Prediction Center, a small decrease in electron flux, but we still should be in warning levels today. Not too many charging hazards. Here is the ionosphere, just one slice of that air column. And if you're wondering where the sun would be, it's just in front of this high frequency region. Here's the latest image. Ionosphere is looking pretty normal right now. Here's where stuff is in the solar system. There's where things will be in a week. I like to use the planetstoday.com mobile. It's the mobile view, because the mobile view is the simplest and it's not all that complicated. If you get up before dawn, you may see things like the Mars and the Venus and the Moon. Mars and the Moon very close in the sky right now. Although it's light out where I'm located for once. A rarity for making daily space weather videos. Good morning to Mary. Thanks for leaving comments. Let's look at the last 24 hours of earthquakes. We don't see anything major, and I'm going to let this list scroll. Okay. Thanks, USGS. I'm going to let this list scroll up, and I will be right back. So we do see some deep quakes here. No major quakes. Nothing over a 6 magnitude. We still do see a drought when it comes to 7+ magnitude quakes over the past long period of time. Next, volcanoes. And let's hit refresh here on volcanodiscovery.com. Current eruptions include Abiko, flight level 120, Suwanusa Ejima, unknown ash cloud there, Cinnabung, 11,000 foot ash plume there, Popocatépetl exploding, flight level 20,000 feet, 20,000 feet of altitude there, Sabancaya, intermittent emissions are producing a 24,000 foot tall ash plume. Please don't pole vault the caldera or do a back handspring. Weather.gov map shows a bunch of red flag and excessive heat warnings for the west. And we are waiting to show you how much snow. Do you know how much snow is in Greenland? The mainstream media is going to tell you that it's melting. Look how scary it is. Now, Iceland is much warmer than Greenland. And look at this. Oh, look at that area. Oh, there's only 151 inches of snow there. By the way, it's still summer. 5.7 inches of snow there. It's so hot in these places, folks, that look, oh my God, look at this. There's snow here, 0 inches. Snow here, more than 5 meters. I propose that a Trump icy golf course is built right here. And I want it to be shaped like this. A giant 3-dimensional Trump golf course. Right there. I want an excuse to go to Greenland. Anyway, it's so scary and spooky. Greenland is melting in the summertime, which it does every year. And the more snow that falls there, the more it melts, because the more snow you have to melt, the more you can possibly melt. And melting water isn't scary or spooky. What's scary and spooky is 3 winters in a row of 2 standard deviations above normal northern hemisphere snowfall mass balance. What's not scary is a warmer planet. A warmer planet is actually healthy, especially for things like Siberian and Canadian farming. Hey, Kansas City, there's thunder rolling in. I know because I look at lightningmaps.org. Hey, Europe and Africa, you're being teased, and I'm being vanished, folks. Holy crow, I've been vanished. There are water vapor maps for Africa and Europe. Here are water vapor maps for the Far East and Oceania. And this thing still has over 100-mile-per-hour winds. Could make for some good surfing in the southern Japanese islands. Just saying, folks, just saying. Here's a water vapor map for the Americas. Here's the U.S. Doppler radar. Pretty clear for most of the country right now. There's the cloud layer. I don't care. Here's the water vapor map for the U.S. And we're going to zoom in on this area here over New Mexico, because I forecast flight turbulence. If you're flying from Texas to California, you'll see some turbulence today, or vice versa. Turbulence will see you today if you fly from California to Texas or something. Jet streams are all over the place. Check out this 180-degree bend over only a couple hundred miles in the central Atlantic. Really the northeastern Atlantic, I guess you could say. The Don Lemon anticyclone has finally subsided, along with Don Lemon's credibility. Here are the jet streams of the eastern world. And check this out. You've got an area right here where cold air is being injected and warm air is being injected, and people are going to lose their you-know-what over it. And they're going to swear that mankind is controlling the atmosphere because they're ignoramuses. Hey, thanks Smash Team for tuning in. Let me bring up the chat one more time before it's about time to close out the video. By the way, we did see an earthquake in Texas there, actually, just inland of where those storms are striking right now. Which rare earth elements, Be Stoic? Would they be water? There's lots of fresh water there because, well, mainly because of 3 winters in a row of 2 standard deviations above normal snowfall. What do you think? All right, it's about time to close this thing out and remind our viewers to please keep your heads and arms inside the Smash plane, because we got bonus features. And we're going to actually show the 335. The 335 angstroms. Oh my God, there's a spaceship. Look there's a spaceship. Call Mr. MBB333. There's a spaceship. We're also going to show you the intensitygram and the colorized magnetogram to most likely show you 0 sunspots. Leave us comments and let us know what you're doing as far as Labor Day weekend. Are you like going on vacation? Are you gonna like party? Are you gonna like cook crazy amounts of food? What are you up to? We're gonna make crazy amounts of dogs and burgers and so on. Pretty basic stuff. Invite a bunch of people over, and yeah, masks will be not permitted. Anyway, there's a colorized magnetogram. A good view of the plage, as well as a fleeting sunspot. Here's the intensitygram. Again, 0 sunspots. And here's the 335 angstroms. It's a 48-hour video. Here is your chat. There we go. I meant to shrink it. There we go. Oh my goodness. And now everybody can see their chats. I'll scroll that through and end this video. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Remember, stare at the sun, don't drink it. If you do, don't drive. Seriously, don't drive. It's Labor Day weekend. It's pretty dangerous, especially late at night. And since it'll never be now again, we've got yet another bonus feature because I forgot to show you the 131 angstroms view. There's a great filamentary eruption. I forgot until I remembered. So if you look right in the middle of the disk, you're going to see a filamentary eruption there. It collapsed back onto the chromosphere. So, almost overlooked that one, as I had to do this video twice today. I tried to record it and then failed, which is why I did it live! Anyway, talk to you soon, and don't be surprised to see some unexpected videos coming out in the near future. baited, Chad.